Hello my docs, it's the Dork Author here, and today we're going to be doing a reaction video to the top 10 scariest creepypastas by WatchMojo.com. Now I'm sure all of you know who WatchMojo is. Well, if you don't know, they're a YouTube channel that does top 10, top 5 lists, and they're pretty famous and well known for it. Anyway, since we're doing creepypastas on here apparently, and it's my home turf, I figured I might as well watch it and see what I think of the rankings, and overall if I think they did a good job with it. Do I have any predictions? Slenderman is going to be on the list, for definite. He kinda has to be, it's the law. But for the others though, I'm not too sure. Let's full screen it, and let's see what we have here. Oh, this intro is awesome. I remember this intro, nostalgic.
They are the horror stories that circulate the internet, terrorizing innocent surfers with tales of gore, horror, and death.
I mean, that's true. Jim.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com.
Why is there Jack Skellington there? And that's from Wreck. Doctor Who?
Scariest creepypastas.
At least they said it
This
right,
list, we've taken
creepypastas.
the internet stories, whether they be rumor, fact, or fiction, that scare us.
I'm pretty sure most of them are fiction. Whoa, okay.
Since we've already posted a video on creepiest video game rumors.
Oh. There's another one I'll have to watch then. They did one on gaming creepypastas apparently. Let's go and see what else.
Topics like Ben Drowned, Sonic.exe, or any hacked versions of Pokemon won't be on the list.
Fair enough, they do deserve their own list. I just hope that they didn't put Sonic.exe right at the top of that gaming list they did. Simply for the fact that overall I just think it's a mess story. It's nowhere near the best, but I don't know, I haven't seen that video. We're on this one.
Number 10. Abandoned by Disney.
I'm gonna make all of them disappear!
After a large
Yeah, I can see Abandoned by Disney, I'll give them that.
Place was abandoned for apparently no reason.
It was abandoned, I believe, because of cruise ships going in and out of the island. And I don't know, it just wasn't very tourist friendly or something. I believe that was the reason what Slimebeast stated. But let's continue.
One blogger decided to investigate it.
That's true. Using clips from Zombieland.
Exploring the grounds, he found graffitied signs that said "Abandoned by Disney" all over the place.
Yep, sure did.
He entered an area off the main lobby that was labeled for mascots only. There, he found a crude Mickey Mouse costume lying on the floor, which got up.
Oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong one there. Anyways, that's not true actually. I believe they find the photo-negative Mickey Mouse costume in the Character Prep 1 room, not just in the Mascots Only room. That's a common misconception that I've seen a lot of people believe. But no, I've reread the story not too long ago, and it was in the Character Prep 1 room that they found the photo-negative Mickey suit in. But I'll give him a pass.
And proceeded to pull off its own head.
Yeah, that's true, that was pretty freaky.
Blood.
Even though I think now it's been retconned to be yellow puke.
Read the words, "Abandoned by God."
Yep.
Number 9. Persuaded.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Give him Persuaded some love. Gotta give you some props there, WatchMojo. That's pretty good. Let's see what you have to say about this one. Hopefully some good things.
Imagine a zombie apocalypse, only worse. After an oil tanker spill, more and more people become infected with brain parasites, causing them to lash out and kill anyone and anything near them.
That's not the scary part, unfortunately. You think it would be, but it's not.
One individual tries to take shelter in his bathroom, but a horde soon breaks into his house.
Yep, that's true. Walking Dead.
Instead of trying to break down the door, they start to whisper constantly, trying to persuade him to join them.
Hence the title, Persuaded. I think it's just overall one of my favourites, and I definitely agree it's on there, because it's scary. Just overall, it's just a complete state of madness that the zombies drive the person in. You know, get them to open the door by just standing there and never moving. Good choice on this part for including this story.
They are aware, they are smart, and they are patient.
Yep, that's why it's scary.
End, their offer starts to sound tempting.
Yep, best ending. Shaun of the Dead. Appreciate them using this clip.
Number 8. Smile Dog.
How is Smile Dog number 8? That's a pretty ridiculous ranking in my eyes. It should be a lot lower, I mean, a lot higher than that. But, let's see. At least I appreciate that they put it on the list. And is that Cujo?
It's not a monster, it's just a doggy.
Yep, that's Cujo. Great film. Haven't seen it though.
No one likes chainmail, especially when it has such a creepy attachment. Smile
That's
Dog
true. There's the
JPEG
picture.
Is the image of a sinister-looking dog with human teeth. That sounds
And
scary
the
enough,
eyes.
but Smile Dog drives those who see him mad with fits of epilepsy and anxiety. He also asks the recipient to spread the word.
In their dreams, yeah. And the reason why it spreads about so much is because they spread the word through chainmail. And obviously that's how it continues tormenting people. They do it through chainmail over and over. Pretty clever, I must say.
Force the world to experience it. Spread it like
Dang.
seeds.
If they don't, the image changes into something more horrific and will cause endless nightmares until the victim
Ooh,
is driven
jeez.
to suicide.
Oh, there was an ad for a second there. Well, what else you got?
Some even say this creepypasta began with the image of the devil.
Are they going to show the image? I say there's more than one image with this story.
Number 7.
Guess not.
The Rake.
I can buy the rate being at number 7. That's pretty fair. Maybe a little lower. Maybe maybe a little higher, like number 5-ish. But I can give them a pass on this. It's fair enough. I like all these clips though. That's brutal.
Nothing like a good monster to scare the crap out of you.
That's from the Labyrinth, isn't it? Or Pan's Labyrinth, yeah, with the eye in the hands.
A set of accounts describes a hairless creature that appears suddenly in the houses of its victims.
I can also appreciate the fact that they say there's more than one cases, because most people when they read out the rake and know the rake, they only know the one of the family with the kid. But no, there are multiple cases that's in the story, so I can appreciate the fact that they included that.
It's been known to stalk and terrorize its prey for weeks on end, though its motives are never clear. Those he targets
Nope, just
are
wants to
either
screw
filled with
people over.
fear
That's what the
or,
rake does.
oddly, concerned for his well-being. One woman who met him in her bedroom one night lost both her daughter and her husband to this mysterious being.
Well, no, I believe they died in a car crash outside. They lost the daughter to the rake, but no, the husband was still alive. I believe he died in a car crash trying to get her to the hospital, or like they drowned or something like that. I don't think the rake directly killed the husband in the story, but they were right about the daughter, but not the husband, I don't think.
It's enigmatic as much as it's terrifying.
Yeah, fair enough. That's freaky.
Yeah,
Squidward suicide?
Ted Hospital down the street, and I understand you have a dying
Squidward
animal
suicide,
on the
isn't it?
premises.
Number 6.
Yep.
Squidward suicide.
Fair enough. I say
Last
6
thing
is
you'd
about a normal
associate with
ranking.
horror is SpongeBob SquarePants, but this apparently lost episode would prove you dead wrong.
It's not the scariest thing, but yeah, that was my reaction when I first saw it. That was literally me in the dark.
An intern describes his account of watching an uncut episode of the cartoon prior to its airing,
Yep.
which begins with Squidward being booed off after a clarinet concert.
That's wrong, it actually starts with Squidward in his house playing his clarinet, then SpongeBob and Patrick begin annoying him, he tells them off, they go see Sandy with Patrick, SpongeBob does, and then it cuts to the concert there.
Squidward! Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip!
Boo! You stink!
What
Lol.
follows is a series of images that jump between Squidward sobbing and screaming, and single-frame photos of murdered children. Finally,
That's true,
Squidward
it does
takes
do
a
that,
shotgun
unfortunately.
and ends his own life with the pull of a trigger.
Yep. With the pull of a shotgun, if you want to know.
Okay, new theory. Maybe we should play so quietly.
They
no
can't
one can
hear us.
There's someone else in the hotel with us.
What's this one gonna be?
There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms.
Jeff the Killer? Jane the Killer?
Are you out of your mind?
Number 5.
Oh, the keyhole, what's this? I don't think I know this one. Unless they're talking about red with
A
white.
hotel receptionist warns a customer that there's an unnumbered
It's
room
red
in the
with white,
hotel
not
he should
keyhole.
approach. Sure enough, the man finds it, and his curiosity gets the better of
Yeah,
him.
it is definitely
He
red
looks
with
into
white.
the keyhole and sees a woman dressed completely in white, unmoving.
Yep.
The next day, when
He looks through the
looks
keyhole again, all he sees
he
is
only
red.
sees red. At checkout, he admits his deed to the receptionist, who tells
Need to
him
get a
the
fact
man
check on the
murdered his
title
wife in
there.
that room, and that
To
her
be fair, I
ghost
think I called it
haunts
by the wrong
She's
title, but
white
it's
as snow,
definitely
and her eyes
red
are
with white.
completely red.
Thanks for saving me.
Whoa, Jesus. Never
Number
had.
4, Candle Cove.
Alright, more respect. Candle Cove. Gotta give him props there. I don't think Candle Cove's necessarily too scary. I think I'd put it up a little bit lower, 5 or 6. But I at least appreciate the fact that they put Candle Cove in. They're here.
This
Love that
is
clip
the
from the
one show
Poltergeist.
you never want your kids to watch. On
Oh,
an
no,
internet
definitely.
forum, a few friends discuss an old local television show they used to watch and how
Or
it looked
supposedly
and
used to
seemed
watch. And what the
looking
hell
back.
is that?
And even with a villain called the Skin Taker, and one episode that featured endless screaming from the cast of pirate
That's
puppets,
true, it was pretty
the
freaky.
creepiest element came from the parents, who said that the kids had been watching nothing but static.
Yeah, I give them facts there for saying that the scariest part was right at the end, when it was revealed that the kids were watching nothing but static. That was pretty cool. That's also one of my favourite aspects of the story. Oh, what's next?
Number 3, the Russian sleep experiment.
Yes, yes, they're getting it, let's go. Number 3. That could be higher. I think either number 2 or number 1, but gotta give it props for including Russian sleep experiment. That's an amazing story.
These tapes do not exist. This room.
So far, WatchMojo hasn't really annoyed me yet, so good on them. Did get some of the facts wrong
In the
though.
1940s, Russian scientists sealed 5 political prisoners in a chamber and pumped in a gas that prevented them from sleeping.
Yep, freaky. 15 days I believe they tried to keep him, 30 days they tried to keep him alive for. But they ended it after 15 days.
Paranoia and silence soon followed, and on the 15th day, the doors opened on a gruesome scene. One of
Yep.
the 5 was dead and torn apart, while the others had ripped pieces off their own bodies.
Oh, there's Saw, Jesus. They used the 4th subject, or the one that was dead, as a food source, despite food rations being provided. They also tore some of his flesh off and put it inside of the water pipes, oddly.
All but one of the subjects' hearts stopped after falling asleep.
That's not true. The subjects did survive. One of them fell asleep and died that way. I believe one of them ruptured an organ and died. Then one of the guards pulled out a shotgun or a gun and killed another one of the subjects, and the last subject was on the operating table.
Before he was shot and killed, the lone survivor said this: "Have you forgotten so easily? We are you. We are the madness that lurks within
Love
you
this
all,
quote.
begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread."
Yep, love that one.
What do you want?
Number 2, Jeff.
They don't even mention So Nearly Free, and really, Jeff the Killer at number 2? Oh, come on, WatchMojo, you can be better than that. Jeff the Killer's not that scary. To be honest, I'd probably swap one of the other stories with Jeff the Killer, because Jeff the Killer should have been a lot lower. I'm thinking a 5, 6, or maybe even a 7. Jeff the Killer's hella overrated at this point. But let's see what WatchMojo has to say.
Jeff the Killer.
Please don't hurt us.
Oh, Michael Myers, the Halloween Rob Zombie film. Good clip, I
One of
guess.
the most famous creepypasta characters to date, Jeff the Killer is simply a psychotic murderer born of an unfortunate accident.
Yep, that's true.
After being badly burned during a fight with some local kids, the once innocent
It was
Jeff
more than
lost
just burned. Obviously, he had bleach on his face, other things. He was being tormented, so there was a lot more set up than what they said here.
to sanity upon seeing his scarred face. After carving a smile onto his mouth and cutting off his eyelids,
Yep.
he viciously killed his mother, father, and brother.
Yep, said, hopefully they mention his favourite line.
The last he said before gutting
Yep.
them was, "Shh, go to sleep."
He only said that to his brother. He didn't say anything to his mother or father. I think the last words he said to his mother before killing her was, I think, "Mummy, you lied." When they asked, like, do you think I'm still beautiful or something like that, Jeff said to his mother, No, he only said go to sleep to Lou, his brother, before killing him.
The worst part? He's still at large, haunting people
Yep,
with
there's
his
the picture.
terrifying visage.
I've seen it too many
Before
times.
Our number one pick arises from
Alright, honorable mentions. What
Here
have you
are
got?
A few horrific honorable mentions.
The Grifter. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's pretty bad. Anasi's Goatman story? Honora Petrova, once again, I don't think that should be on the list. Good of them to miss it out because it's not really too scary. Robert the Doll? Yeah, that's true. I'll give it that. The Angel statue, I haven't seen it. I've heard of it though. Pretty good though. Slenderman's gonna be number one. Yeah, I saw that coming.
Police, I know, a skeleton. Keep calm.
It's not a skeleton, but I guess they need a reference clip.
He's an icon of horror, gaming, and memes
Yep,
everywhere.
he is the face of Creepypasta. At least at this point he is. But I don't think he should be number one. I think Russian Sleep Experiment overall is the more scarier pasta. But I think they only put him at number one just for like, oh my god, look how hip we are, how much we agree with the kids and whatnot. But in my opinion, Slenderman should not be number one. He should be on the list for definite, but not number one. Should have been a lot lower.
A mythological, faceless pale man in a suit. This creature skyrocketed to fame with the game The 8 Pages, where he relentlessly pursues
And the post,
player.
I believe, on the Something
Said
Awful
to
forum.
be able to teleport, stretch his limbs, grow tendrils, and that he has a tendency to impale his victims, who are mostly children, onto branches. The Slender Man
That's
will
true.
not be forgotten soon.
Thank you.
He had a terrible film, but yeah, he
And
won't
make
be
sure
forgotten
not to
soon.
look him in the eye, or...
Well, his non-existent eyes. You don't have any.
Do you agree with our list?
For the most part, yeah, I do agree with the list. It was okay. They got some of the facts wrong, and I think some of the entries could have been swapped around or completely changed. But overall, I think this was a pretty good ranking video. I figured since I watched the top 10, I believe it was just general creepypastas, they did another list on the top 10 TV creepypastas. I was like, why not check this one out also? Like I said, give WatchMojo some love. You know, they made the video, go check it out. I'll link the channel in the description. I don't own this video, whatever the hell. Anyways, let's see what TV creepypastas they have. Predictions. I'm guessing Squidward Suicide and or Deadbot's going to be on this list. Maybe Candle Cove, but we'll see. Nostalgic intro. Scooby-Doo intro.
Sometimes there's a dark
cut it
side
off.
to your favorite television show. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're
Alright,
counting down our
WatchMojo,
picks
what
for
you
the
got?
Top 10 TV creepypastas. For this list, we're taking a look at many of the dark stories that the internet has to offer.
You're gonna show a
about
clip of
our
Ren and
favorite
Stimpy.
TV
That'd be
shows.
pretty fitting.
In order to make this list, the creepypasta has to be based on a TV show or TV in general. No
So that
video
basically
game
kind of
creepypastas
confirms
this
Candle
time.
Cove's gonna be on the list.
Number 10, Garfield hallucination theory, Garfield.
I think this is more based on a comic rather than the TV show of Garfield, but yeah, I'll give it that. I actually read this one, I believe, if I know it correctly. It's actually a pretty good one.
What am I doing?
It's about Garfield starving in a house where Odie and John have died and he's the only one in it.
This one's a classic, and one of the few entries on our list with a leg to stand on.
You poor little kitty cat.
The story says that Garfield is actually a stray cat who's suffering from hallucinations due to extreme starvation.
Hey, this poor kitty is starving, okay?
As such, John and Odie are figments of his imagination.
Oh, yeah, figments of his
as
imagination.
Is all the
Yeah, that
food his
works.
character is known to eat. The supposed evidence
Yeah,
of
here's
this
the
theory
comic.
is a short one-week comic strip that Garfield cartoonist Jim Davis created at Halloween 1989. Here, our titular cat awakens in his abandoned house. Since it's the future, Odie and John have long since passed away.
Yeah, but there you go.
Garfield
It's
is
either they
left
died or
starving
figments
and
of his
alone.
imagination, either
The
one.
strip tackles the ideas of taking life
There's the
for granted
thumbnail.
and denial.
I'm gonna stop pretending.
Yeah, it's a pretty
I'm
interesting
not.
one.
I'm just gonna be me, Garfield the house cat.
Number 9. He's just a dog. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Ah, this is a pretty good one. The entire show is from Courage's point of view. That's this theory. It explains why everything is so crazy, because it's through the eyes of a dog who hasn't seen a bunch of people together. It's why Muriel and Eustace are always fine at the end of every episode. It's all through a dog's point of view. At least I think that's the story they're talking about.
Funny to think that a cartoon starring a little pink dog could still give me nightmares to this very day. But can you blame me?
Similar to the Garfield hallucination theory, the creepypasta revolving around this animated horror comedy alleges that Courage the Cowardly Dog takes a very different approach to an animal's view of the world.
Yep, goes from their point of view.
Each episode of the series involves Courage protecting his masters from some kind of outside force.
And because it's through the eyes of a dog that hasn't had too much human interaction, he sees everything as these demonic, monstrous creatures, when in actuality that's probably not it at all.
This guy is unpredictable, confused, and very dangerous. You seen him?
Poor Courage. Run, boy, run!
This theory states that Courage and his masters, elderly couple Muriel and Eustace, don't actually live in the middle of nowhere, and that any villains they encounter are actually just human visitors unfamiliar to a dog who doesn't
there you
get
go.
to see the outside world much.
If you think of it like this, it actually makes a lot of sense.
This would be because his masters are older and cannot take him out for far or frequent walks.
Yeah, that'd explain everything.
Where am I?
And how they're fine at the end of every episode. What's next? Oh, I'm thinking the Rugrats, Angelica's imagination theory might be on here as well.
Another theory takes things even further, stating that the family is actually in hell, with Courage protecting Muriel, who represents humanity, from Eustace, who represents Satan.
Really? That one's a bit of a stretch.
Eustace. Slave woman. Your job is cleaning, cooking, shopping, laundry, and anything else.
Wow, these will not last in
That would
2021.
certainly explain all the supernatural and paranormal monsters they run
I don't
into.
buy that one though, that seems a little too far-fetched. I buy the first one a lot more.
Yay, farmer.
Number 8. Scooby-Doo post-depression theory.
Ah, yeah, I know this one.
It's worth a try. Come on.
Our next entry
It's like why
is
explains
a
everything so
shockingly realistic
abandoned.
one. Based around the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You series from the 1960s, the theory posits that the cartoon is actually set during a severe economic depression.
Yep, that's why everything's bad, why everybody's trying to make money and stealing stuff.
Now this ghost pirate shows up.
In order to cope, even well-known and otherwise well-off people like professors, business owners, and movie stars resorted to stealing and performing crimes under the
try
cover
and
of
earn the money
monster
back that they lost
disguises,
because of the depression.
so they wouldn't get caught.
Aha, so that's it.
Yep, would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids messing with the post-depression.
And I'd have done it too, if you kids hadn't come along.
This theory is quite possible, especially
It
when
is.
you consider
Yeah, it's
how
one of the more
rarely
believable
Mystery
ones.
Machine Gang actually helps someone stay in business.
Well, at least we know he's inside.
Yeah. Alright, what else you got? Once the transitions are done.
Number 7.
Ah, the cul-de-sac purgatory theory. Knew one purgatory theory had to be on here. Sasha's coma theory on here too.
The blunders, bruises, and over-the-top cartoon antics of others.
This has actually become one of my more favourite creepypasta narrations. I think it's actually one of the best ones I have. It's like 600 views currently. You guys seem to really enjoy that theory. I didn't think it would do good at all, but it has. But overall, I'm a big fan of this theory. So thank you again, WatchMojo, for including it.
Sympathetic or otherwise.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I haven't seen the show, but apparently it's pretty good.
It's time to revisit the cul-de-sac. While the animated series follows a trio of kids who try to scam their way to the top of the dead end on which they live, the theory on what it's really about takes a different path.
It's also a theory that supports the fact that the kids are dead because like their tongues are blue, and if you die, like your tongue becomes blue or green because of the blood and whatnot. That's also something I heard. Not sure if it's factual, but it kind of supports the theory.
Please.
Here, the Peach Creek cul-de-sac is actually a form of purgatory in
Between hell and
Eddie's world,
hell and heaven.
meaning that each of the children has died at distinctive points in time.
Yep. Like Eddie dying in the post-apocalyptic, not post-apocalyptic, in the Depression, Great Depression. That's why he's so obsessed with money. Other things like that.
Well, it's believed Eddie came during the Great Depression and met his end trying to swindle the other children, and thus brought that trait into the afterlife.
Oh, the soreness of
And obviously the other kids have traits as well that kind of support this too.
Along with Sarah, Ed then perished in a car wreck over a decade later.
What's this?
When comic books and stuff were becoming very famous and popular.
It's a face scruncher. Cool.
While Ed, 2Ds, died in an experiment gone wrong in the mid-80s.
I'm assuming they're not going to mention, I forget the girl's name who died in the 70s as the the hippie girl. She had the worst fate out of all of them. I'm assuming they're not going to mention that.
My notes!
So, if you believe in this theory, the bottom line would seem to be, don't come to this neighborhood.
Yeah, stay away from the purgatory. Town of the cul-de-sac, Jesus. What else?
Number 6, dead air and big imagination, Candle Cove.
What of a what? Dead air and big... I'm confused. Do they just mean Candle Cove in general, or... I'm actually intrigued. Let's see what you got.
Remember this kid's show? It was
called Candle Cove.
Cove, and I must have been 6 or 7. I never found reference
to
it anywhere,
yep.
So I think it was on a local station around 1971 or 1972.
Unique to this list, this is the only entry not actually based on a real show. We couldn't leave out Candle Cove, though.
Well, what was the subheading for then? It's just Candle Cove. Did they include it to make it look cooler or something? Well, no, there was no other subheading. There's no kind of spin-off that I know of Candle Cove. Well, actually, what's pretty funny now is that point kind of got retconned, because this was made before Channel Zero and before Candle Cove kind of became a real TV show. So it's pretty funny. I love these fan-made things of Candle Cove. It's pretty cool.
This creepypasta tells the story of a supposed children's television show from the early 70s. Many local children tuned into the show, consistently being entertained
Yeah, we
by
already know
characters
about
like
this
Janice
from the other
and
list, but
Pirate
yeah, it
Percy
still kind of
week
follows the
after
same
week,
logic.
but also suffering from similar nightmares.
The puppets were screaming.
Yes, all of them screaming, and the little girl was crying.
Did you have this nightmare a
Yep,
lot?
we're absolutely sobbing.
All the time when I was
over
5.
and over and over.
However, at the end of the tale, it's revealed that Candle Cove never
Wasn't actually real,
existed,
they were just static.
and that the fans of the show were merely watching white noise and static on the TV. Everything they thought they were watching,
The hell is
including
that?
characters, setting,
It's weird as
etc.,
out.
were all
If only
imagined.
this was made in
I used
past
to think that it
2018.
was so strange that you said, I'm going to watch Candle Cove now, Mom, and then you would tune the TV to static.
Let's look at the spelling error here. Turn the TV to static and juts. Watch dead air. Just. But still, I love the ending of Candle Cove.
For 30 minutes.
The story
also the
was
first
quickly
creepypasta
spread
I ever
around
covered.
the internet starting in 2009 and has become one of the most widely known creepypastas.
Yep, and obviously now has a TV show.
And if that's not enough, the writer of Candle Cove, Chris Straub, literally says himself that the story is fake and that his inspiration came from an article on The Onion.
Number 5. Hey Arnold is non-fiction. Hey
Oh, I haven't
Arnold.
heard of this one. Alright, what do you got? Let's see this. Hey Arnold is non-fiction.
In a normal episode of this animated TV series, we follow a young boy named Arnold
Looks like he has
who lives with his
hydrocephalus.
grandparents in the make-believe city of Hillwood.
Look at the little man.
You in that hat, Arnold. You're perfect, just like that.
What a guy.
Yeah.
However, the theory that goes along with it speculates that the series is not fiction. It's set in New York, and Arnold's grandparents are actually his parents.
Eat up, Tex. You'll need your
Pretty weird.
for the candle drive.
I'm intrigued. What else?
Yeah, right,
Let's see.
That's calamity, Grandma.
Due to their age and mental instability, they told Arnold he was an orphan, and he suffered several physical and psychological
cool.
problems, some of which caused the unique deformation of his head, and others of which make him imagine a world with his own friends.
True, but I don't think he would survive a head injury if his head looked like an absolute rugby ball. Like Stewie, more realistically, looks like he has hydrocephalus. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. I've heard other theories like that. Fair enough. They do a lot of clips to pad out the runtime, I
To top
see.
things off, the creator of Hey Arnold allegedly based the show's premise on a real-life boy he met, and he's thus been accused of profiting off.
I'm surprised they haven't done the theory on Birdman about how he supposedly killed himself at the end of the episode he was in. And that Arnold completely dreamt up everything, like, he couldn't imagine seeing him fall to his death, and he imagined, I don't know, the pigeons taking him up and flying him away. That's a pretty interesting theory. Not sure if it's on the list, but that would be a cool one.
It's just a purse, you know, for what are worldly possessions that we
Creepy as though. 90s were creepy.
Hey, I know you. You're the punk with the bus pass.
Number 4. Ash
Yep,
is in a
saw this
coma
one coming.
in the Pokemon franchise.
I hereby declare to the Pokemon of the world, I will be a Pokemon Master.
Ash tried to be the very best Pokemon master
Now
there
this
ever
one is
was.
really cool.
This creepypasta explains why the general themes, tones, and pacing change
Repeat them-
after Ash
and
is
repeat
struck by lightning
themselves.
early on in the anime series.
Why there's always Officer Jenny's and Nurse Joy's, things like that. Why nobody seems to remember him when he goes to different regions. Cool little details like that. This theory tries to explain it. And Pikachu just completely exploded there.
In the first episode, when Ash steals Misty's bike to take Pikachu to the hospital,
He doesn't survive
a
getting struck by lightning
accident
unscathed.
renders Ash immobile, and as the theory goes,
Falls
puts him
into a
into
coma.
He's found days later, and his highly medicated dreams allow him to become a Pokemon master.
The Clefable's.
So the first few episodes are his brain trying to make his dreams come true,
Not
all
the first
while
few
being able
episodes. I
to
think
move around
try and
in a
cover all the other
perilous
episodes
world.
too.
Hey, what happened to your bike?
What happened to my bike? You happened to my bike, you little loser!
More evidence to support the theory comes from the fact that Team Rocket's offensive towards Ash soon becomes quite lax.
True, they were very, very intimidating at the start. Like, not cracking as much jokes.
Unfortunately, if he ever was to realize he was in a coma and wake up,
He would
the
die.
shock to his brain
Yep.
would cause monumental damage.
Or death.
Races to catch up with his rival. Is he running towards victory, danger, or disaster? No one knows for sure, so be sure you're here for the next Pokemon.
Right, what else you got?
Number 3.
Yep,
Squidward
once again saw this one
Suicide,
coming.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
At least they didn't put it number 1. Oh,
Hi, Squidward. Wanna play hide and
SpongeBob, you perv, get out of here.
Suicide is never the answer. This creepypasta
No.
made its way to the internet in 2010, ruining childhoods everywhere. The story
Squidward.
starts with
Whoa,
a
look at that
production
edit.
team that reviews a new episode, but is then horrified by gory images akin to a snuff
I
film
appreciate this.
that
This
are
looks pretty
intermixed
cool.
with the self-inflicted death of Squidward by shotgun.
Yep, shotgun in the mouth,
We were
kabloom.
gonna give this spot to the SpongeBob nuclear testing theory, but Squidward's suicide gives even more darkness to an already depressing character.
But they're both equally good in their own right. I believe the nuclear testing theory a little more than I believe Squidward's suicide. I mean, could you throw it in as an honourable mention, maybe? That'd be pretty cool. Well, fair enough that Squidward's suicide is at this list. Number 3, I
While
think
it
it's
is
okay.
dark and way beyond depressing, the mystery surrounding this tale makes it an intriguing one as well.
A little more cliche and aged as of now.
Hey, Squidward.
But it's alright.
You remember?
Oh, yes, I am.
Here's a zombie.
Welcome to the Krusty Krab. May I take your order?
If Squidward was the zombie, he'd
Number
be null.
2, Dead Bart.
Come on, man. Squidward's suicide is so much better than Dead Bart. How you put Dead Bart over Squidward's suicide? Dead Bart should be a lot lower. Swap Dead Bart with Candy Code for crying out loud. Come on, WatchMojo. You can do better than that.
The Simpsons.
Alright, what have you got to say?
Now, this is one show that has no short of creepypasta stories around it.
Oh yeah, tons of creepypastas. We've been going for nearly 40 years.
But by far the most popular story is
Dead Bart.
which tells the tale of an infamous lost episode of The Simpsons from the first season,
Yep.
in which one of the main characters, Bart Simpson, meets his death.
All right, keep
A bunch
going.
of other things
But
happen
you do
there
know
as
what
well.
happens when you mix acids and bases, right?
Of course I do.
Falls right out of a plane.
As the episode reaches the final 2 acts, the world becomes distorted and eventually crumbles away,
Post-apocalyptic.
but not before shots of tombstones with the names of Simpsons guest stars, some of whom hadn't even lent their voices to the series yet.
Yep.
Guests who died since, like Michael Jackson and George Harrison.
The dates were correct.
The dates were when they would die. The credits were simply silent.
And all the other
While
things
the theory
in there
has been proven false,
were predicted. Yep.
The original poster stated that even Simpsons creator Matt Groening became disturbed upon hearing about this so-called lost episode.
Mentioning this to anyone who was present results in them getting very angry.
And prevent you from
forbidding
speaking with
to
Matt.
ever mention
But
it to
really,
them.
number 2, Dead Bart, come on.
Before we unveil our top
Anime?
pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
It may not sound as bad.
Episode
when you hear
23.5,
this,
I don't know
but
this
that made me
one.
Get away from Hetalia for a while, honestly.
Anything else? Oh yeah, this is a really good one. The Flintstones is actually in the future. What happens is the Jetsons use a time travel device to go to the future, but instead they go to the past, quote unquote, where they meet the Flintstones. But the theory is that what if the machine did work and they were sent to the future, a post-apocalyptic future that has reverted man back into the Stone Age, aka the Flintstones. And the theory is that the Jetsons live above the Earth because the Earth is radiated from, I don't know, a nuclear war or something. Pretty interesting one.
Well, I figure out where we are. Oh yeah, then we'll panic.
I just did.
All in Dexter's head. I haven't heard this one.
We have run out of time, dear sister.
Multiple personality disorder. Yeah, I think I might have heard of that one. It's not ringing a bell though. What's number 1?
You should talk to Buttercup and tell her that she should be running the show.
Number 1. Angelica made them all up.
Really? This is number 1? I knew this was going to be on the list, but I don't think this one should be number 1. I think it should be around Ash's Coma Theory. I think some of the other ones on this list could have been a lot higher. Well, I don't know if these are in any particular order or not. But Angelica making them all up, or all in Angelica's head, is a pretty good theory, so I can give them props for including it. Well, let's see what you have to say about this one.
Mommy, I just gotta tell the truth, the real truth.
What if all our favorite Rugrats were not even real?
Or they were
Okay,
real,
well,
but we're all dead.
since they're animated, they're not. But in the world of the TV series, they're supposed to be.
This is a really good story.
While the details involving Angelica are different between each version,
True.
The main point of this theory is that almost all of the main Rugrats characters are just the hallucinations of this slightly older female antagonist.
Basically, they swap from, I don't know, she's being a drug addict or something, she's medically unwell, it kind of varies from thing to thing, but the whole general theme of all the characters weren't real or were all figments of her imagination has been consistent.
I've still got to do my song.
Loud as hell,
The evidence to
Angelica.
support this theory is based on the character traits of each of the toddler's parents.
Yep.
This can't be happening.
For example, Chucky is always a nervous wreck because he and his mother actually died in a car crash.
Maybe Chaz is a nervous wreck.
And to make up for Tommy being stillborn, Uncle Stu never stops making toys.
Yep,
What
that's his
about these,
coping
Mr.
mechanism.
Honey? I call them wacko specs. Oh, Pickles, you kill me!
Such a theory stating that Angelica may be imagining them all just goes to show how impressionable children can really be.
I guess so.
Whether you believe the theory or not, we
I
are
personally
sorry
don't,
for
but I
ruining
can see
your
the
childhood.
appeal behind it.
Do you agree with our list?
Most of it I agree with again. Some parts were alright, some parts I'd change, but overall it was okay. So yeah, this is pretty good. This has been the Dork Author. If you enjoyed both of these reaction videos, be sure to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Also go and check out WatchMojo.com, I'll link their channel in the description. This video was good and all by them. And if you enjoyed, yeah, once again, be sure to like, comment and subscribe to me. And comment down below, did you agree with these lists? Is there any spots and entries and things you would change? There are a couple I would. But if you enjoyed and like to see more reaction videos, let me know. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, my dorks.